Hello, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Someone asked me a really cool question this week, and I told her that I was going to answer through a Facebook Live, and I think this will be beneficial for you as well. So the question was, what is the difference between wise discernment and judgment? And I love talking about that, and I think it's a great opportunity to talk about this. Discernment and judgment are not the same. They are very similar, and it's very easy to be confused at what you're doing, if you're discerning or if you're judging. As a human being, we tend to judge. We tend to separate things. We tend to tag things and compartmentalize things because it's a very human thing to do. The brain does this to eliminate cognitive dissonance. That's why people come with formulas, come up with books, with theories, with religions, with dogmas. We do this as a way of eliminating uncertainty. To be certain, to know things for what they are, to predict the future gives us a sense of security. And so judgment does that. Judgment, when you're judging someone, judging something, you are trying to eliminate the cognitive dissonance. So first thing, whenever you're judging or whenever you may be confusing judgment with discernment, it's okay. Forgive yourself. We all do this. Let's just be honest. We all do this. But once we are aware that we all do this, we can bring into our consciousness the word discernment or the art of wise discernment, because it's not the same. And this, for me, is a more spiritual way of going about things. So now at a human level, we're going to judge, but we're also spirit. We are a spiritual being having a human incarnation. And so if we want to go a little deeper in the way that we go on to life, we can bring some discernment. So what's discernment, Paula? Go to the point. Okay, let's go to the point because I love going fast to the point. The point is that discernment and judgment behave differently. So judgment, so let's pretend that you have in front of you two groups. You have a group that believes about, let's talk about religion. I know it's a sensitive topic, but let's say you have a group here believing on Buddhism. They like what Buddha had to say, and they like how, the whole thing about compassion, and it just feels good for them to be following the teachings of Buddha. And then here we have Christians, and it's all about Jesus, the beauty and the words of Jesus and all the miracles that Jesus performed. So judgment goes like this. I look at both, and depending on my upbringing, depending on my programming, I look at both and I say, well, this Buddhism thing, I've never seen that. I don't understand what it is, but it goes against of my beliefs, of my dogma. I know that Jesus is the only answer, so therefore I'm going to judge these guys because they're not following what I believe to be true, and I'm separating. So first thing about judgment, the separation. There is right versus wrong. So these people here are wrong, these people here are right. And I'm not saying about my beliefs, I'm just saying an example. It could be vice versa. It could be that right now you're in judgment that whoever believes in Christianity, it's wrong and they should be following a different form of beliefs. This is judgment. This is separation, thinking that one is right and the other one is wrong. Okay? So I hope everybody's following me. Let's take a deep breath. Discernment is different. Discernment is you have two groups here, two different dogmas. You are in tune with yourself every day. You're engaging in spiritual practice every day. You know that connecting with your heart is the most important thing for you. And then you look at these two groups and you say, okay, I'm in this season of my life. I've been through all of the things I've been through. Maybe all of this is not in the moment that you're thinking all of that, but you tune in with the moment, with the present moment. And then you look at this group and you say, ooh, I right now feel an expansion going this direction. I feel like there is wisdom here that I could acquire. I feel like it could be a good time for me to dive into these teachings. Why not? This is beautiful. This has helped me so far, but I'm ready to expand myself. So we're not talking about right or wrong. We're talking about this makes me feel expansive in this moment. So I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go this way. So discernment is not right or wrong. Discernment has more wisdom, and it all depends on where you are, you're welcome, Robin. Thank you for watching this. These are reminders. Yeah, mostly all of you already know this, but we're remembering together. And I'm reminding myself today by explaining about it. This is not a world or universe of right or wrong. This is a universe of expansion, of contrast, of dichotomies, of contradictions sometimes. I don't know if you've ever thought about something, but it's contradicting another belief that you have. We have the capacity to hold dichotomies in our brains. So discernment, it's also very flexible. There's something that I say, I reserve the right to change my mind. Because, for example, from the time I was 25 to 30 years old, I got into being a vegetarian, being a vegan. I was all about it. I thrive on it. It was fun, and I still love it. I even had roommates in the past that have been vegan, and they're amazing cooking, and I just enjoy every single moment of being a vegan. When I turned 30, a couple years ago, I decided to eat meat again. Not red meat, but some eggs here and there, and some fish, and sometimes chicken, and it just made me feel better at the time, choosing grass-fed and all that, but what I'm trying to say here is that from 25 to 30, my discernment said it works for me in this season of my life to test the beauty of being vegan, to test the beauty of being a vegetarian. And now discernment told me, by tuning into my body, not everyone's body and everybody's concept, but tuning to me. Right now I'm choosing. Also, discernment has a lot of choice. Judgment, it's imposing your ideas onto someone, or someone imposing that onto you. When you are allowing discernment, there's more of the power of choosing, depending on what you feel is more beneficial to you. So I'm choosing that. I may go back to being fully vegetarian and vegan one day in my life. I don't know. But discernment is very flexible, because you are ever evolving being. Always changing, always. It's like the tides, sometimes we have high tide, we have low tide. Sometimes the ocean, the other day I posted, it was crazy. We were having this huge, gigantic, chaotic swell with giant waves, and sometimes the ocean is like a lake. So discernment has the quality of flexibility, just like the water. And when you're flexible, you're more powerful. Judgment is rigidity, so much rigidity, just like a rock. And if you stand in front of the ocean and you look at the rock in the ocean and you ask yourself which one is more powerful, well, the right, or at least the answer that my discernment gives me, is that the water, it's more powerful than the rigid rock. Because if you see in time, the water erodes the rock. So being flexible is the best thing you can do in your life. It hurts a lot less. People that are very rigid in their beliefs tend to be easily hurt and disappointed. Yes, Jody, ever evolving. It's amazing. It's amazing how we're always changing. The seasons of our lives are always changing. Open to everything, attached to absolutely nothing is something that I love to say in my thank you, Stefania, for reminding me that in my workshops, and I took that from the teacher Wayne Dyer. Open to everything, attached to absolutely nothing. So going back to, and I wrote it over here, discernment for me has more of your heart. Judgment comes more from here, from the mind, from the analytical mind. Sometimes you choose not out of logic, you choose out of intuition. And, it happens a lot in relationships. And people are like, I can't believe, you broke up with that person. It was so amazing. And you say, yes, this person is so amazing. But my discernment is telling me right now that this is not my direction. My discernment is telling me right now that our season is over. And it could be a romantic relationship. It could be a friendship. Judgment, it's a lot about blaming and shaming. It's when you have your finger like this and it's their fault and they did this, or you're shaming and blaming yourself. That's judgment. Judgment has a lot of punishment. Discernment has forgiveness. Discernment, it's like, ooh, I didn't choose well enough for me. I'm going to forgive myself. I'm going to choose again. This judgment says, oh my God, look at you. You just, can't believe you did that again. Really? Really? You're choosing that way? And then you stay in your own blame and shame, and you swim in that goop. It just gets horrible. I hope you get the point, because I'm getting it as I'm talking. So discernment, it's more about being beneficial something versus limiting in this moment. It's all about seasons of your life. It's all about tuning into your truth. Remember, there are many, many truths, but the only truth that matters is yours, is the one that resonates with you. I love to talk about different concepts, but I always tell people, don't believe me. Test it out for yourself. And if there's anything that does not resonate with you in this moment of your time, let it go. Let it go. Take what's good for you. So judgment is about separation. Discernment understands there's no right or wrong. So question for you today. What are you judging? What are you judging that you can change for discernment? What are you judging that you can change for discernment? I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but it happened to me when I meet people. And my mind, my monkey mind, and if I don't feel the good connection, I'll go straight to judgment. And then I'll change back. And I said, okay, Paula, let's choose your discernment. What are you feeling? And I tune into my emotions. And sometimes I'll see, oh, this person is triggering that part of me that needs to heal. Or I'm just sensing right now there are energies are not in the same place. I honor that person. I see the light in that person, but I feel like I don't want to be too close. And sometimes this discernment comes naturally. But it's not that the person is a bad person. It's not that I'm better than them or they're better than me. It's just that I'm discerning that right now our energies are not at the same page, in the same world. And etc., etc. Those are the examples I can think of right now. So how can you change your discernment today, your judgment for discernment? Remember, if you're judging, you're pointing fingers, you're being rigid, you're separating yourself, you're thinking right or wrong. Discernment is saying, it's all good, it's all choices. I'm going to be flexible. You know what? I see your point of view. Maybe tomorrow I'll be in your point of view. Today I'm in this point of view. There's no need to fight and who's right, who's wrong. Discernment chooses peace instead of being right. And yeah, that's pretty much what I know about discernment versus judgment. Oh, the last thing I want to say, very important. Paula, how do I differentiate it? Because I don't know, it's such a fine line. This is the secret to be discerning. And this is my secret. And it might be yours too. It might be your way. You engage in spiritual practice every day. And more in practice. Let's just talk about self-love practicing if the word spiritual doesn't resonate with you. So what I do every day is I connect with my heart. Remember last week I was talking about courage? I connect with my heart, connect with my breath every day. And so whenever you're connecting to your human brain, to your frontal lobes, to your pineal gland, and you're connecting to your heart, you have more access to discernment. You have more access to compassion. You have more access to love. You have more access to peace. So whenever you're engaging in spiritual practice or daily practices of self-care, you'll see it will be easier for you to discern instead of to judge. Judgment is a byproduct of fear. Discernment is a byproduct of love. If there's anybody that has a question right now, this is the time to ask that question. Talking about practices, in my book Free, I am putting lots and lots of exercises and practices if you want to understand what I'm talking about when it comes to practices. I talk about breathing, I talk about meditation, I talk about taking care of your energy. People sleeping in the last 2 days, not today, but the last 2 days, I was so exhausted. When you're tired, you're going to be judging more than being discerning. And I was so tired. Last night I went at 8:30 p.m. to bed And I woke up at 8 a.m. today. It was so good. I was so grateful. And today I just feel this clarity. I can connect better with my angels, with my spirit guides, with my heart, with everything, because I just slept. Something as simple as sleeping, at being very good at taking care of your energy. Energy is everything. You may know everything, all of these beautiful things, but if you don't do them, if you don't have the energy to do them, it's just intellectual knowledge. Let's say, Jody, any affirmations to help when you start to beat yourself up over bad decisions? Ooh, any affirmations? I love, and I don't know if this is an affirmation, but I love the part of A Course in Miracles that says, a miracle is a shift in perception from fear to love. So one thing I do tell to myself, and I learned from other teachers too, is to say to myself, Paola, how can you see this with love instead of with fear? How can you see this with love? Because in life, Jody, everything is about meaning. What meaning are you giving it to things? So you made a bad decision. You went back to some old pattern. So what are you making that mean? Are you making it mean that you are going back to a lesson, but now from a different level of consciousness? So do you get to get a little deeper into the meaning of the lesson? Could it be that there's something else that you didn't catch before that now you have to catch by making that decision that you're not proud of? So how can you reframe the situation with love instead of with fear? And next thing I say to myself, and yesterday I was saying this to myself because also this week I said something that I was like, oops, I shouldn't have said that. And I said, it doesn't matter. I forgive myself right now and I will begin again. So the catch here, or the key here for me, it's I forgive myself right now. I did the best I could, and I'm going to begin again with what I know now. Because the thing is, when you are not forgiving yourself for being a human being, you stay in blame and shame for too long. And that makes you leak energy and then keep making wrong decisions, or the word wrong, I don't like it, but limiting decisions for you. So the fastest you forgive yourself, the better it will be for you. So I forgive myself and I begin again. I forgive myself and I begin again. And maybe in that forgiveness process, you sit down with yourself and you ask, what did I learn from this? What else do I need to know? And you go into meditation and you allow your heart to give you the answers. You can do free writing. Also in my book, I talk about free writing. There's lots of things that you can do, but you can forgive yourself and begin again. Amor en vez de miedo, muy bueno. Yeah, ni. Love, 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 love. And love is not only romantic love. I know you all know it. It's compassion for yourself. People, we're human beings. We're not giving a guide how to live perfectly. Some people have tried to do guides for that, and I honor that. But we're all learning through experience, and we're all learning from, I'm glad you're enjoying the book, Jody. We're all learning from making mistakes. So mistakes, if you see it in one way of having judgment, is just teaching us how to be discerning. Mistakes are teaching us to next time make the right choices. If mistake is a good word that resonates with you. Whenever we're in fear, we're learning more about courage. Whenever there's the night, we know the day is gonna come. It's all dichotomy. And so it's okay to be human. It's okay. Let's give ourselves permission to be human, but very important to keep connecting to our spiritual being, so that this human experience becomes a beautiful dance. It becomes a beautiful ride instead of being the struggle. Oh my God, hard. Life is so hard. You know what I'm saying. I hope you know. So this is it for today. Thank you so much for your comments and for your beautiful love. I love you. I will see you next week. If there's any more comments you want to put down after I am not live, please put your comments below. Tag people that may benefit from this message. Maybe you want to put this on your wall at Facebook. There's lots of negative news out there. Let's share good news. Also with everything that is happening in the world, let's use more discernment. Discernment also talks about possibilities. Judgment stays in what's wrong. Judgment stays in what's wrong, what's not working. And just like Mother Teresa said, don't invite me into, to protest against cancer, against violence. Invite me to something that is pro-peace, health. So discernment is more in pro of the solution. Judgment stays in the goop of what's wrong. Okay? So you're welcome, Mikey Lee. Can't wait to see you when you come to Costa Rica. All right, guys, this is it for today. Let's use our discernment today. I love you. Bye-bye. Get my book if you haven't gotten it. Very soon it's on Kindle. I think this Mercury retrograding, it's testing my patience because Kindle for some reason is not working yet. But it's going to work very soon. I'm going to announce it on my wall when it's ready. All right? I love you. Bye-bye. Ciao, ciao. Thank you for the delicious food for thought this morning. You are welcome, Robin. Your book is on the way, so I can't wait for you to get it. Bye-bye.